Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to another 7 in writing with Fabi. Okay, so here we discuss strategies, okay, for you to get a 7 in the writing part of the IELTS test. My name is Fabi. I'm an English teacher and I teach at English colleges here in Australia and also at universities, and I live in Brisbane, Australia, okay? And my specialty is actually to help people get a 7 in the writing part, okay? However, today the topic is not only IELTS, okay? So today I will be talking about what's the best test for you, okay? Is it PTE? Is it IELTS? I'm not kidding. I think I get this question at least twice a week. Okay, so people get in touch with me and they, oh, hey Bruna, how are you? I miss you too, Bruna. We have to meet up. I think you owe me a message. You told me you had news and then you never told me the news. Okay, maybe after this live you can tell me what's going on, okay? With your life. Alright, okay. So going back to what I was saying, guys, I cannot not look at the chat, okay? But if you have any questions, pop them in. I'll try to look at it later, okay? I'll try, but sometimes I can't. That's true, yeah, I know. All right, cool. So I was saying that, so I help people with lots of exams, right? My specialty is IELTS, specifically IELTS writing, but a lot of people ask me, okay, so what's the best test for me? Which test should I do? I heard about this one, I heard about that one, so today I'm going to tell you all about the exams, okay? So first of all, you need to know what you need this exam for. That's the first thing I ask my students. Oh, I don't know if I should do this or that. And I always ask them, what do you need it for? Okay. So I'm going to tell you my case. Okay. So the first exam I did was the TOEFL exam. And why did I do that? I did it because I was moving to the United States. All right. And the TOEFL exam is for people who want to study in the United States. I was going to go there and I was going to study. So that made a lot of sense. Okay, I did a short preparation and then I did the test. And when I got there, I showed them my test and there were some courses that I could do because I had the test. Okay, if I hadn't had the test, I probably had to do different things. So that was my first exam. Then the second one was the CPE exam. And I did it because I thought it was a good idea for me, okay? I'll talk about Cambridge exams later, so you know why I did it, okay? But it made sense to me, and I did it, okay? I came to Australia to do that exam, okay? And then the next one I did was the IELTS for immigration purposes, okay? So it depends on what you want to do with your exam. So first thing you have to know is, why do you need the exam for? That's the first thing, okay? Once you know why, so different reasons you need an exam would be for education purposes, okay? You need for immigration, okay? You need for your job. I'm going to talk about an exam that people use for their jobs, okay? So first thing, what do you need it for? Once you know why you need that exam for, then you have the options of exams, okay? But before I tell you the options that you have, let me tell you the difference between exams, okay? So some exams, it's like pass or don't pass. So some exams, you do them, okay? And then you either pass or you don't pass. There's a special level. So you choose the exam you're going to do, all right? And then it's a pass or don't pass. Other exams, everyone will do the same test, but people will get different scores and that will tell you your level. Okay, so some exams will tell you your level and other exams you either pass or you won't pass. Okay, so let's start with the exams where you either pass or you don't pass. That's the Cambridge exam. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with the Cambridge exams. I personally really like these exams because I feel that you really learn English when you do them. Okay, I'm actually teaching at the moment the CAE, which is the advanced one, and it's so much fun. I really like it. Okay, so yeah, with the Cambridge exams, guys, there are different levels for the test. You have all the way from the pre-intermediate all the way to advanced. Actually, proficiency. So you have all these different types, okay? So basically, when it comes to Cambridge exams, you would have to know your level, and then you choose the exam, and then you either pass or you don't pass. Okay, so that's Cambridge, okay? So you have one exam called KET, which is for pre-intermediate students. PET, not PTE. PET, which for intermediate students. FCE, I think is the most popular one, for upper intermediate students. Then you have CAE for advanced students, and CPE, the one I did, for proficiency. Okay, that's like crazy English. I did that one. Okay, guys. So you check your level, and then you decide which one you're gonna take, and then you do the exam, and then Cambridge will tell you, you passed. Well done. Or no, you didn't pass. I'm sorry. Fail. Okay, so that's the kind of exam that you get that result. And something that is quite important about Cambridge, it lasts forever. So Cambridge exams, the expire date is never. Okay, most exams I'm going to talk about after with you guys, they have expiry dates, whereas Cambridge doesn't. Okay, so a lot of people ask me, oh, should I do IELTS? Should I do Cambridge? I'm like, what do you want? You know, guys, what do you need? Me, for example, when I had to do the IELTS for immigration purposes, okay, they asked me a really low score for the IELTS. And then I had the CPE, which is a really high score exam, but they didn't accept it. And they said, oh, no, you still have to do the IELTS. I'm like, okay, fine. I have an exam which is like an 8 on the IELTS, and I need 4.5. No, you have to do the IELTS. I'm like, oh, that's annoying. Okay, so again, I had an exam that was amazing, but I still had to do something else because what I wanted to do had changed. So again, think about what you need, and then you choose your exams, okay? So definitely Cambridge, okay? If you really want to study English, if you want to check your level kind of thing, okay? Pass, don't pass, okay? I know in Europe, a lot of companies might ask for that, okay? And again, guys, with people who know Cambridge, if you tell them I have this exam, people know your level. Okay, so that's why Cambridge is quite good. Okay, then we have the exams where you take it, and then people will tell you your score. The institution will tell you your score. Okay, one of them is the TOEFL exam. Okay, most people who do the TOEFL exam is because they want to do something probably in Australia, in the United States. Okay, so TOEFL is more for North America. Okay, and it's very similar to IELTS. Okay, so if you want to study in the United States, you're probably gonna do the TOEFL. Okay, I don't think here in Australia lots of institutions would accept TOEFL. Okay, so so just think about it again. What do you need? Okay, then another very popular exam, especially in countries from Asia, is the TOEIC. Okay, I don't know if you heard of this exam before, TOEIC. So this TOEIC exam is actually, again, you do it and they give you the score, okay? And then in the TOEIC exam, it's interesting because they just test your reading and your listening. That's it. Okay, and it's more business. So I've had lots of students from Asia, and they actually said, I need to do the TOEIC. I actually helped some people. I was like part of the test. I help people with the test, you know. I did the test for them, you know. I prepared the test for them, which was pretty cool. But this one specifically, okay, guys, is for the people who need that one. So I know that in Japan, it's very common. Okay, but some places, I think France also is asking for this exam, because it's for more people who are business people. Okay, but it's interesting because it just tests reading and listening. Okay, so again, some people need this exam, so they do this exam. Okay, then we go to the ones that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you more about PTE and IELTS. Okay, what's the difference? Which one should you do? Okay, so let me tell a little bit about the PTE exam, right? So the PTE exam is an exam that has been it's being accepted in Australia, okay, and in other countries too, okay, mostly for either immigration purposes or education purposes. Okay, so people who want to study or people who want to immigrate to another country, okay, especially Australia. Okay, so the PTE exam again is an exam that you do the test and they tell you your score. Okay, so that's the PTE exam. Okay, PTE exam is quite different because you do everything on the computer, even the speaking part. So you're constantly talking to the computer. Okay, guys. So yeah, so one thing that makes the PTE a little bit different also is that it's a short exam. Actually, it became shorter recently. It used to be longer, but they shortened the exam a little bit. Okay, so one thing that makes it a little bit complicated to study for is the fact that there are some parts of the test that are actually testing two different skills. For example, there will be one thing that I have to do during the exam that will test your listening and your writing. Another one that will test your reading and your listening. Another one that will test your listening and your speaking at the same time. Okay, so you have these things, writing and listening at the same time. Okay, so it can be hard to study for this exam, mostly because if you don't do very well in one part of the test, you're not sure which activity you have to practice more, because maybe it's one that has two different types of skills. So that can be a little bit complicated. All right. Then, okay, and something that makes the PTE exam a little bit easier is the writing part. Okay, so the writing part of the PTE tends to be a bit easier compared to all the other exams. Okay, and again, guys, a computer is checking your score. Remember, it's not a person, it's a computer. Okay, so I've been helping some people with it, and it's interesting. It's an interesting test. Okay, but it makes it easy. Okay, the writing part is easy. However, I have been finding that people struggle with the speaking part of the PTE exam. Okay, so it's like so you have this test that one part is hard, one part is a little bit difficult. Okay, so with the PTE exam, I feel that the writing part is easy, but the speaking part can be hard. Okay, and I will elaborate more on that later. Okay, and the IELTS exam. Okay, so the IELTS exam is again an exam that if you want to go to Canada, if you want to go to the UK, lots of different places, you can take this exam. And you can use the IELTS for immigration purposes, okay, and also for educational purposes. All right, and and how does it work? Nowadays, you can do the IELTS on the computer, okay, but the speaking part still with the person. Okay, the speaking part still with the person. Okay, so then, and again, if you've done any English course, the IELTS is going to be simple. It's basically read a text, answer the questions, okay? So it's quite it's a straightforward exam, okay? You don't have to, I feel, for example, the PTE exam, you really have to understand how the test works, okay? And then you do the test, all right? Whereas the IELTS, I think it's more like if you've done an English course, you know how it works, okay? So, and what is easy about the IELTS part, the IELTS test? I think the speaking part is quite easy, okay, and the listening part is quite simple. However, people tend to struggle with the writing part, and that's why that's my specialty, okay, because I felt that students really struggled with the writing part of the IELTS test. So what did I do? I got really good at it so I can teach my students and help them, okay? So that's one of the things that I do. Okay, I help people with the writing part because a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people tend to struggle. Okay, so now that I told you about all these exams and especially PT and IELTS, okay, now guys, you think about it. If you have a question, you can pop the question in there, okay? So the thing is, which one should you do? Okay, so I'm gonna share some of the questions I received today. Is which one is the easiest? Okay, guys. From my experience, there is no easy exam. No exam is easy. There are tests that are easier for you as a person. There are tests that are like more your style, all right? Because there is no easy test, okay? Let me tell you a little story. I have a student, okay, and she said, I don't know what to do, PTE, IELTS, I don't know. I said, look, my specialty is IELTS, you know, but if you want, I can help with the PTE. But she said, no, let's do IELTS. And she got excited and said, can I study English too? I said, of course. Everyone who studies for exams with me, they also study English. She said, oh, okay, that's exciting. Let's do this, right? And then we started studying for the IELTS. She did the IELTS 3 times. She always got her overall score, but she never managed to get one of the parts above the required score. So she needed a 6.5 overall, but nothing under 6, and she never managed to get everything above 6. Once she got a 7 in speaking, but got a 5 in reading. You know what I mean? So she did the test 3 times. And then she said, look, I don't think the IELTS is for me. I'm going to try the PTE. I said, are you sure? She said, yes. And I started studying for the PTE. Said, no, I'm feeling it. I think I'm going to do well. And then guess what? She needed to do the PTE 3 times to get her score. So again, and I asked her, which test is easier? She said, I think they are the same. Okay, guys. So it's so personal. Extremely personal. Okay. Then I had another student. Okay. He started with the IELTS test, right? And then he did the IELTS test once. Got a horrible score, got really angry and told me, I'm going to do the PTE exam. I said, okay, no problem. I can support you. Okay, let's do this. And did the PTE exam. And guess what? He had to do it 3 times to get his score. So again, but for him, it was better. But he still had to do it many times. You know, guys. And then I have a student. She actually did the PTE a few times. And she said, I can't do it anymore. One thing that a lot of people complain about the PTE exam is the fact that you were in a room and there are lots of people speaking at the same time because you're talking to the computer, and people tend to speak loud, and that might disturb your listening, or even when you're speaking, you're a little bit uncomfortable. And that was a problem for her. And she did it 3 times. It's like, you know what, I'm just going to try this IELTS. And she tried and she got it, the score she needed. So yeah, so it's really personal, guys, okay? If you're shy, you probably have to do the PTE exam, okay? Because maybe you're going to be talking to people, you know, on the IELTS test, you have to talk to someone, okay? So if you are a little bit shy, then you should be focusing on the PTE, okay? But one thing is that with the IELTS test, I think maybe it might take you longer to prepare, okay? But I just feel that once you're prepared, once you know the test, it's very easy. And if you don't get the score you need, it's quite easy to pinpoint where you have to improve, whereas the PTE can be a little bit complicated, okay? And again, guys, this is all my personal opinion, okay? If you disagree with me, there's no problem at all. Pop it in the comments, okay? Because honestly, I'm just sharing with you what I've seen from my students, okay? And I know that everyone is saying how easy the PTE exam is, but what is easy? And again, guys, what is easy for one person might not be easy for you, okay? So you have to think about that and just try both. I've said that to my students, you know, and again, I have people trying the IELTS and I have people trying the PTE, you know, and again, with the PTE exam, people struggle with speaking. Okay, for some reason, sometimes the microphone, just imagine that the microphone isn't working properly and then you don't get a good score. Wow, that's not very nice, is it? So these are the technicalities, and also it's a computer. Guys, it's not a person, it's a computer. Okay, whereas with the IELTS test, I think is more human maybe. Okay, and then of course the writing part can be a problem, especially if you want the 7. Okay, I'm an expert in the 7, all right, and I've been finding that people can't get the score they need because of grammar, you know, because the examiner is reading and you made some mistakes and the examiner would be like, oh, this is not advanced English, so you can't get the score, I'm sorry. Okay, so I had students getting really high scores on the other parts of the test and getting a low score in writing. Okay, and again, I get with the PTE, same thing. I get students getting high scores in one part and low scores in the other part. So again, guys, there is no easy test. There are tests that are easy for you. Okay, so when people say, oh, this is easy, this is hard, yeah, is it really? Is it really? Another thing, oh, if you do the IELTS test, you have to do the IELTS 10 times to get your score. Not really, guys. Okay, I have a student, oh my God, we studied together for about 3-4 months, I think. And then she booked the test, but then there was a lockdown and she ended up postponing the test. So actually the place had to postpone the test. So we studied another month together, right? And she saved $1,000 to do the IELTS test 3 times. And I said, why? She's like, no, everyone says that I have to do many times to get my score. And I was like, okay, right, but just don't go to the test thinking that whatever, I'm gonna do it 3 times. And guess what? She got her score. She needed a 6 overall, and she got 66666. Okay, and then she had $1,000 to spend, and she's like, I think I'm gonna travel now. Okay, so again, guys, what people say, okay, like take into account, but think about your own experience. What do you like? What don't you like? So what's your personality like? Okay, I personally don't like the PTE exam. I think it's not very natural. Okay, because talking to the computer, not for me. Okay, but then if you are the kind of person a little bit shy, maybe it is for you. Talking to the computer would be perfect. Okay, so yeah, so it's really personal, and to me there are no tests that are easier. Okay, another question I got was, which test is better? Well, it depends on how you look at it, right? It's better for what? Okay, I feel that if you study for the IELTS test, okay, you need to improve your English a little bit. So if you need to improve your English a little bit, I think it's quite beneficial, because if you're doing the exam, you probably want to do something in Australia, something in English-speaking country. So if you have the opportunity to study even more, perfect. Then you get your score and you're ready to go to university, look for a job, So that's my personal opinion. Okay, so maybe it's better, all right, but maybe if your writing is not that good, maybe you could do the PTE. Okay, but again, with the PTE exam, people focus so much on the tricks that people end up forgetting that you just need to have good English. Okay, basically when I help people with the PTE, I help them with English. That's it. All right, and another question that I always get asked, with which test do I get a high score? Again, guys, it depends. Okay, I do feel that, so I had a student and he did the IELTS, he got a low score and he was very angry, and then he went and did the PTE because it was easier. Guess what? He got the exact same score. And I was like, oh my God, see? And then he was like, oh my God, it was better. I said, it wasn't really much better. Okay, but in his opinion, it was better, and he felt that he could improve more with the PTE, so he did the PTE. Okay, and I had people who came to me and they did one test and they did the IELTS, and they're like, oh my God, the IELTS so much easier, so much better than the PTE, and people did the IELTS. Okay, guys, so yeah, so can you put in the comments, guys, which one do you prefer? What's your favorite one? Yeah, I don't know, it's so tricky. It's really tricky. So yeah, so that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Okay, and tell you that to me, there are no tests that are easier or harder. It's extremely personal. Okay, extremely personal. Okay, do you have any questions for me? Okay, try. It's so easy to try this test nowadays. Okay, but my advice would be, if you're practicing the test, even if it's just to try and to choose, okay, I suggest you look for a website or for materials that are authentic. Okay, don't just Google IELTS practice test or PTE practice test, because maybe you will do it. Hello, hi. So yeah, so I feel that if you do go ahead and try and practice online. If maybe sometimes you find a website that is not reliable, and then you think it's very easy, and then you go do the real stuff and it's so hard. Okay, or vice versa, you try something and it's so hard, and then you go and you do the real stuff and like, oh, this was so easy. Okay, so whatever you do, whatever you practice, try to have authentic materials. Okay, so just go to a Pearson website if you want to practice the PTE, and IELTS website. There are heaps out there. Okay, yeah, so here in Australia, IDP is the place where most people do the exam, and they have a pretty cool website for teachers, okay? And when it comes to IELTS, also teachers and students, okay? So there are a few things that you can click on and get some practice tests, okay? With the PTE exam, there are lots of websites, and they give you, you should go to the Pearson website first, okay? And then maybe talk to some people and get the best ones in your opinion. All right, any questions before I go, guys? Well, I've been talking for 30 minutes, long time. This is a big topic, guys, big topic. Yeah, I get this question many times, and I just thought it'd be nice to share it with you. Okay, yeah, so I think that's it for me. Okay, this live will be posted somewhere, okay, so you can watch it later if you like, okay, if you couldn't make it. And yeah, so keep an eye on here. Well, I'm gonna try to do this maybe every Monday and every Wednesday, okay? And if you have any types of questions, guys, just send the questions and I will answer them for you, all right? I think I'm gonna be back on Wednesday, all right? But I'll let you know here on Instagram, all right? Okay, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.